Hi everybody. Why do people leave an organization? What causes people to leave and others to stay? Well, it's an interesting subject. It's one that people have devoted many books and articles and seminars on. Of course, why people say the opposite is why people leave, so you can look at it from any of two perspectives. From my perspective, I'm going to talk today about turnover and why people leave. Turnover is not a bad circumstance of an organization. Some turnover can be good. To get people to come into the organization who think differently, who aren't indoctrinated in the types of policies and procedures of an organization can certainly be a positive aspect. You think differently, you act differently, you interact differently, and you also have ideas that haven't been heard before, that haven't been debated before. So turnover of and by itself is not a bad circumstance. The level of turnover can be a concern. However, the most important thing about turnover is who leaves. You have a high level of turnover, but the people that are leaving are ones that should. And maybe you even encourage them to leave. Here, what we hope is that the best and the brightest stay within an organization. As you know, I call them the superstars, and that's what you need to make a success. People generally leave for four reasons. First of all, they leave because they feel like there's a brighter future elsewhere. A brighter future is more than just money. A brighter future means that they feel like a position or an organization will better fit their needs in the future. That's an internal or motivational aspect that's central to them, not to any other. So they define what would make them happy. Clearly, this is not the organization that's doing that. The second is, while most people think it's the most important, it's not, but that it's fair compensation. People just want something that's fair. I think there's some great statistics out there about how people think that they're better than they are in the workplace. And for instance, I've mentioned before that evaluations, over 90% of employees evaluate themselves higher than their supervisor. However, most people know what a fair compensation is. As long as they're paid fairly, they would stay. In this case, if they're not, they would leave. Third is that they have concerns or problems or issues with people they work with. Could be their supervisor, subordinate, or coworkers. But they just do not feel like that organization is one that is conducive to their needs to have interaction and conversations with people. And so that would cause them to leave. Lastly, they just simply don't like where they work. It could be a number of issues about simply not liking where you work. It could be the hours. It could be the customers. It could be the vendors. It could be the pressure. It could be the commute. So there's a number of circumstances where that just does not fulfill their basic needs. Most of the three that I mentioned when we started can be overcome fairly easily. When you talk about a brighter future, you can certainly talk to your employees about what you can do for them in the future. When you talk about financial needs, if you can meet those, that would alleviate that concern. And then the people they work with, if you have a strong HR department or management culture that doesn't allow people to be disrespectful or even rude. The last one is they don't like where they work. There's really not much that you can do about that. There's really not. And that's why it's so important that you hire the right person. If there's one thing that I want you to remember out of this is we can't make people happy. We can provide them with a job and hopefully a future, but it has to fit into their needs. And if it's not a need that they find that organization can offer them, they really do need to go somewhere else because they're not going to be happy in your organization. Odds are they're probably not going to be happy wherever organization they go. With that, everybody, wish you a great day. Hopefully you have the right turnover in your organization. If you do, you do okay. Take care.